Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Anthony.
Today we continue talking about potato chips. Yesterday was day 1. Today is day 2 of our The Origins section of your magazine. Where do these things come from? Everyone's eaten or at least seen potato chips. Maybe you wondered, well, who first made them? Yesterday, we looked at a couple of stories about how potato chips began, and the lesson yesterday and today is the same. It's called Fancy a Snack? Have some potato chips.
OK， 所以昨天呢，我们介绍了这个 potato chips， 到底当初呢有很多不同的这种说法说，是谁发明的？我们昨天呢提到了一个厨师叫做 Crumb， 对不对？然后呢还有提到说，在那之前呢，还有另外两个这个两本这个应该说有另外一个这个食谱书呢有提到，后来有另外两本食谱书有提到说这个 Kitchener， 好，他有先想到这个概念，所以我们今天要继续去看一下 potato chips 相关的一些资讯哦。
Okay, let's get busy with our first full paragraph. Of course, when you say potato chips, you're really talking about a great variety of different kinds. Now, variety means different kinds of things. And if you say potato chips in one country, it might be completely different from what you're used to, or the shapes, the ingredients, and so on can be different. There's not only one standard kind of potato chip.
所以在这边的话，我们先看到第一段的第一句话咯。他说 Of course, when you say potato chips, you are really talking about a great variety of different kinds. 老师刚刚特别提到 variety 就是指 different kinds 的意思，对不对？有的时候你会看到这个字 various, V-A-R-I-O-U-S 用这个形容词来表达 various kinds 就是各式各样不同的东西，所以说今天你提到 potato chips 的时候，也许在不同的国家你点这个东西的话呢，可能你会看到不同的吃法，不同的原料，或是甚至是不同的一个佐料啊，要搭配什么酱都不一样。
There are wavy crinkle cut crisps. He mentioned this yesterday about when you go to the UK.You wouldn't say potato chips. You would ask for crisps because potato chips, what Americans call potato chips are...
Yeah, potato chips, they're 洋芋片. Yeah.
Okay, so different places may have different names for the same thing or not, and then you're in trouble. But don't worry about it. Just try things and see if you like them or not. You might like the wavy crinkle cut crisps, a favorite in the UK, we just mentioned that. And in some places, some other places, people call them ridge cut crisps. Ridge is like a cliff. If you have land and then it falls right down, that can be called a ridge. So it refers to a thicker kind of potato chip.OK,
所以接下来告诉你不同种类、不同形状的这种 potato chips。所以这边他提到说 ，they are wavy crinkle cut crisps。好，老师刚刚有提到说，我们在昨天的时候有提到，同样是讲洋芋片，美国的话会说 potato chips， 但是英国会讲 crisps。好 ，crisps 还不好念呢，对不对？很难念的这个字啊。好，他说 a favorite in the UK， 所以你看到 crisps， 你就知道说应该是在这个英国，好，其他或者像苏格兰他们会讲的这种话。And in some places, people call them ridge cut crisps. Ridge 的话，老师刚刚提到，就像那个悬崖有没有，或者是像是那种沙漠里头沙丘的那种棱线，或是山的这种棱线的话，你也叫做 ridge。所以 ridge 给人感觉是比较厚实一点的这种 potato chips， 然后吃起来就口感很棒。
Okay, and to show you that they are thicker, that's what the next sentence tells us. These ridge cut crisps are a thicker kind of chip for those who prefer a crunchier texture. Texture is a feeling. This is a cotton shirt and it's smooth. That is the texture. But some material like wool might seem a little scratchy to you. It's a different feeling. And we can talk about texture with food. What does something feel like? When we eat spinach, for example.
菠菜。
Yeah, what is that feeling?
感觉有点好像会咬嘴巴，然后会苦苦的。
Yeah, anyway, that's a feeling, and people will describe some foods by their texture, not by their sight or smell or even the taste.
没错，所以在这里的话 texture 的意思就是指质地，你可以说衣服的这种摸起来的感觉，或是这个桌子摸起来的感觉，或是这个东西吃起来在嘴巴里头摩擦的时候的那种感觉，都可以是 texture。所以在这边他提到说，它其实事实上是不一样的。These are a thicker kind of chip。好，它就怎么样呢 ？For those who prefer a crunchier texture， 那这个地方它对于那些喜欢比较脆。咬起来更有口感这种质地的这种 crisps， 它的话就会选择像这样子的 rich cut crisps.
Pringles, the next sentence, a famous brand. I'm sure you've seen it in the supermarket. It comes in a tube, usually, and brightly colored, and pictures of a stack, one right on top of another. The whole stack is just one potato chip on top of another in a tall tube or cylinder. I'll spell that later for you. On the other hand, Pringles is different from the kinds we've been talking about because they are delicately thin, almost paper thin, and curved on both sides. They seem to have two ends that are curved.OK，
所以这里的话，另外就提到了这个 Pringles， 好，我也非常喜欢吃。好 ，Pringles 的话通常是一个长筒状的，然后老师刚刚提到这个 cylinder 也是那种长筒状的，老师待会会帮大家拼一下，它是一个很有名的一个品牌。好，大家提到品客洋芋片，可能还很有印象。On the other hand， 相较于这个 rich cut crisps are delicately thin， 它就切得特别的薄 ，maybe paper thin， 很薄。And curved on both sides， 就是它的两边呢都会是这种曲线型的，正反两面都是曲线，所以放进嘴巴里头是刚刚好，直接这样喝下去。
Right. Cylinder, C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R. C-Y-L-I-N-D-E-R. Tube is something easier to describe, something that is round and long at the same time. T-U-B-E, tube is a kind of cylinder.
没错，所以 cylinder 就是圆柱状的东西，叫 cylinder。当然，你用 tube 来表达的话是比较简单的一个用字。
Okay, let's take a quick break. Now we'll continue talking about our delicious potato chips. Then there is the great fried versus baked debate. Now, we've been talking about styles of potato chips, mostly their texture or what they looked like. And we did mention deep frying, but today we're going to introduce a different way to produce potato chips, and that is baking them. And some people say baking is much better than frying or deep frying. So it's a debate. Some people think it should be this way. Other people say, no. It should be this way.
没错 ，debate 这个字呢，意思就是辩论的意思。好，关于这个 potato chips 到底要怎么去做，好，要怎么样去烹调或怎么去处理的话，有两派的说法，争相不断的去争执说哪个比较好。所以我们在第二段的第一句话，他就提到了 ，Then there's the great fried versus baked debate。有人说当然是要用油炸的啦，有人说不，用烤的比较好。两个面前争执不下，好有大 PK 的那种感觉。
Now, versus, you can see the word in your magazine. We very often just write 都是小写的 VS, and we add a period. Some people don't even add a period. But if you see VS, you should say the word versus.
没错，你看到 VS 的时候，你不能念 VS， 你要讲 versus， 它是一个介系词。然后有的时候写的时候可以写 VS 一点。或者是 VS 没有一点，但是不可能有其他的版本，什么V 一点，然后 S 一点，没有，不可以，这样不行啊，或者是2点什么莫名其妙的不要，只有2个版本 ，VS 一点，或者是 VS 没有点。
Okay, continue. Fried potato chips contain a lot more oil and fat, especially if you deep fry them in lard. Whoa, I wouldn't do that. Baked chips, however, are cooked in an oven or air fryer rather than being fried in oil. So with baking, you don't use oil. Of course, if you're frying things, Anthony mentioned this yesterday. When we just use a little bit of oil, then we call that frying food. If it's a lot of oil, deep frying.
没错，所以在这里的话，你要特别去看到两者之间的差别。Fried potato chips， 他说 contain 包含了 a lot more oil and fat， 所以为什么它会包含这么多？因为你放到油里面整个去吸得饱饱满满的，那当然是吸饱吸满，对不对？可能很香啦，但是事实上对健康也许比较不好，对不对？然后另外一派还说 baked chips however， 那如果是烤的呢 are cooked in an oven， 要么它是选择使用这种一般的烤箱，或者是 or air fryer 是那种气炸锅 OK， 用这种方式 rather than 就是 instead of 的意思being fried in oil， 而不是放到油里面直接去炸。那我们昨天有提到这个 fry 这个字，如果说是 fry 的话，只是用油去制作，但是如果是整个放进去油里面炸的话，叫做 deep fry， 这是我们晓得的概念哦。
So they're considered the healthier option. There is those potato chips that are not deep fried. They are baked or put into an air fryer. So air fryer uses air, hot air. It doesn't use oil.
所以在这边的话，如果你是用气炸锅或是烤箱里头去烤这些 potatoes， 它没有放什么油的话 ，they are considered， 大家就会被认为说怎么样？这是一个比较 the healthier option， 比较好、比较健康的一种选择。
Today, a lot of health-conscious chip manufacturers love to say their chips are baked, not fried, to appeal to people who are concerned about how healthy their food is. Well, that's a long sentence. Let's go back here. Today, we can also say nowadays, N-O-W-A-D-A-Y-S, one word, now-a-days, nowadays, these days, today. A lot of health-conscious chip manufacturers. Chip here, of course, is potato chip. The people who like Pringles, that's their business. They make these and then sell them to the public. But they want to sell more of them. Today, people think about their health much more than people did in the past because we have more choices today. These manufacturers, they love to say, hey, we have delicious and healthy or healthful food for you to buy. It will help your health. It won't hurt your health.
所以在这边的话，你看他说 a lot of health conscious， 我让你说 health conscious 的意思就代表说 you can say a health conscious customer， 好，意思就是这个人他会想到在买东西的时候要选择健康的东西。conscious 本来意思是意识到什么事情 ，you are aware of something。那你前面可以放任何的名词去跟它搭配，中间的话要加一个 hyphen。所以是当你讲说 you are health conscious， 代表你是注重健康的，有健康观念的。You are fashion conscious， that means yeah you know a lot about fashion， 好，对时尚很敏锐的，好，很有时尚感的。所以在这边整句话说 today a lot of health conscious chip manufacturers， 好 ，manufacturer 就是制造商，制造这些洋芋片的公司呢，他们也知道说，哦，现在的消费者很注重健康观念，所以他们就很喜欢 love to say that what their chips are baked not fried。他们我们这个洋芋片是用烤的，而不是用油炸的，所以你吃起来很健康，请放心。
And health-conscious people love to hear that. Oh, I can eat as many potato chips as I like because they're not bad for my health. And one other thing, Anthony mentioned aware as another word for conscious, A-W-A-R-E. If you are aware of things, you are conscious of things, you realize that they are there or you realize that they are good for your health or not.
没错，所以在 aware 这个字的话，也是一个形容词，跟 conscious 一样，好，都是 be conscious of be aware of 就是你知道后面事情的存在，你会去想到这件事情。
Okay, shall we take a potato chip break?
Of course, 一定要的。
We'll be right back. Okay, let's finish up with our final paragraph. And speaking of health-conscious people, they probably want to stay away from Royce chips, which are chips dipped in chocolate.
Oh.
And so I'm not very health-conscious because I cannot resist chocolate. But for health-conscious people, they realize too much chocolate is not good for you. Lots of sugar and some oil. It's a great way to gain weight. So they should stay away from. Now we have a very simple verb for that. Avoid. A-V-O-I-D. A-V-O-I-D. Stay away from, keep away from these delicious potato chips. I don't care if they're healthful or not.
OK， 所以在最后这一段呢，第一句话讲到说 ，And speaking of health-conscious people， 说到这些有健康意识的人呐，或有健康观念的人呢，就话题呢就转到另外一个地方了。他说 ，They probably want to stay away from Royce chips。好 ，Royce 它之所以用引号，是因为这是一个很有名的品牌。我记得以前我们在经过机场的时候，他们都会放在机场里面卖。然后我开始的时候想说，这看起来不错，外面包巧克力，好有趣哦，有白巧克力、黑巧克力都有。
Wow.
买回去1包还是2包，反正到后来我看着电视，它那1包其实里面没有很多，吃着就没了，然后你会完全不晓得自己吃了这么多。当你说 stay away from something 的时候，老师刚刚有特别提到一个字 avoid，avoid 就是避免的意思，它是动词。那如果你要讲 stay away from 或是 keep away from， 也都是离它远远的，敬而远之的那种感觉。
The mix of salty and sweet is to die for.To die for is very modern English. It's hip. It's slang. That means you cannot resist something. You have to do it. Salty and sweet are very attractive to most people, but far from healthy. Far from means, in this case, not at all healthful.
所以老师刚刚提到一个字很重要，叫 resist。resist 的拼法是 R-E-S-I-S-T, resist, that means to say no to something. 好，就是表示说拒绝它。当你说 the mix of salty and sweet， 又有点甜甜咸咸的感觉，一吃好刷嘴啊，一直吃，无法拒绝的话 is to die for， 这是一个比较很新潮的一种说法，对不对？ But far from healthy， 但是呢，不是很健康啦，所以是 far from something 就是 not， 就是不是后面的 it's not healthy。And
in fact, this could actually mean to die for. If you eat a lot of Royce chips every day, you may die from them.
没错，所以这边的话，老师还看到这个趣味，文字趣味。当你说 die from something， 好，那意思就是说因为后面这件事造成的死亡，所以你吃的很多，对身体很不健康的话，在一个某种意义上来讲 ，you'll die for that thing。好，你会因为这个东西而死，这样子。
Yeah, you don't care if you die or not, you will eat it. No matter what kind of flavor you prefer, there's definitely a chip somewhere out there.That has your name on it. This is just one of those foods, especially snack foods, that is popular around the world, even though it comes in a great variety of tastes and forms and cooking methods. We can call them irresistible. We just mentioned resist is to keep from. I'm not going to do it. If you cannot do that, then that thing is irresistible.
就是没有办法说不，无法拒绝。哇，这太好吃了，就是这样的。所以呢，在这边的话就说了 ，No matter what kind of flavor you prefer， 不管你喜欢哪一种口味 ，there is definitely a chip， 绝对可以找得到一种洋芋片 ，somewhere out there， 在某个地方 that has your name on it. When you say something that has your name on it, that means that can suit your taste. 它那个东西呢，就完全符合你的口味，你觉得找到之后，你就会很喜欢，欲罢不能的吃。
Okay, now you may have heard, sometimes I said healthy, sometimes I said healthful. The 标准, formal way to use these words. Healthy refers to plants, animals, or people who are in good health. If something is healthful, if a food is healthful, it gives you good health. But today, when we just have conversation, you can just say healthy for everything.
Yeah, 没错。所以今天在使用 healthy 这个字的时候，严格讲起来的话 ，healthy 是指东西的状态本身是健康的状态。那 healthful 是能够提供给你让你健康的东西。那现在的话，大家都习惯只讲 healthy food， 就是也把它当成 healthful。严格讲应该是用 healthful。那大家都可以，甚至还有人讲 eat healthy， 把它当副词来使用也可以。所以说在这里的话，你们先知道 healthful 是给人家健康的。Healthy 是指东西本身的状态，这样就可以了。
Okay, that's it for today. Join us the next time. Till then,
bye-bye.
第44页，追根究底，给我洋芋片，其余免谈。
Fancy a snack? Have some potato chips.Of course, when you say potato chips, you're really talking about a great variety of different kinds. There are wavy, crinkle-cut crisps, a favorite in the UK, and in some places, people call them ridge-cut crisps. These are a thicker kind of chip for those who prefer a crunchier texture. Pringles, a famous brand, on the other hand, are delicately thin and curved on both sides.Then there is the great fried versus baked debate. Fried potato chips contain a lot more oil and fat. Baked chips, however, are cooked in an oven or air fryer rather than being fried in oil. So they're considered the healthier option. Today, a lot of health-conscious chip manufacturers love to say their chips are baked, not fried, to appeal to people who are concerned about how healthy their food is.And speaking of health-conscious people, they probably want to stay away from Royce chips, which are chips dipped in chocolate. The mix of salty and sweet is to die for, but far from healthy. No matter what kind of flavor you prefer, there's definitely a chip somewhere out there that has your name on it.